What's up, YouTube? We back again. Another reaction. Airplay Beats, Lon Chi, and today we're reacting to Elvis Presley, 200 Cadillacs. This will be our part 3 of this documentary. So it's been a while since we watched this documentary, so we back at it. So here we go. Yep.
He surprised him the day he was getting ready to leave. He called him into his room, told him to look out, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like the 15th floor. Told him to look out, and there we had cars parked for the nurses that he had arranged for. Just gave them cars.
This with the brim, stingy brim.
He just kind of said, you know, you people need a new car. I'd like you to have a Cadillac. And my mom said, oh, Elvis, we don't, you know, they protested, of course. But it was, you know, certainly something that my parents had never had. And so they were taken aback, and it was a huge deal in their lives. But, you know, just the generosity of spirit, I think, was appreciated more than the actual gift of the car.
And this is her parents. And here's Lynn Thompson with Elvis Presley. I have the original title when it was registered to Lynn Thompson's parents, and when Elvis Presley owned the car, and when it was registered in his aunt's name. These are just letters. One letter is from Lynn Thompson's parents stating that the car did belong to Elvis Presley, and also a certificate from the Department of Motor Vehicle stating that the car also belonged to Elvis Presley. And this is just a picture of when this car was auctioned off in Europe. This is Elvis Presley's 1971 Cadillac that I won in a raffle. I found out about the raffle in the Elvis Only newsletter, and I won the car. And I like to do charity work. And it makes me feel really good inside that I'm able to do something for a child, or when I was doing it for the National Missing Children Center. And with the car, I also did a fundraiser for the Special Olympics, and I really enjoyed that. It makes me feel good.
It's wonderful to know that just because a car was given by Elvis Presley, that now it can generate income for charities. Elvis was very much like Santa Claus because he really derived more pleasure from giving than from receiving.
The first one was a 63 in 1965. Before that, he gave me the motorcycle. He gave me that 67 Cadillac that he had, the Eldorado, the first year they came out with front-wheel drive. And then in December of 70, he was my best man. When we got married, he gave us a Mercedes 280 SE for a wedding present. He gave me a 1973 Eldorado black on black Cabriolet.
Well, I mean, I was a recipient of at least 8 over the years.
75, he gave the Lincoln to me.
A Mercedes, 3 Cadillacs.
And 76, in January, up in Vail, he gave my wife a 1976 Seville.
He was talking to part 2, so Elvis gave him a whole lot and was the best man at a wedding. So that was his dog right there.
Who paid for the insurance?
For the what? All those cars he gave him?
Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to know. These people are getting it, like she got it from the auction. If you have an Elvis car or had it back then, how much did it cost?
Well, they told us in the comments.
How much for auction to auction it off?
You mean auction it off?
Like what it's worth today?
No, back then.
Oh, I'm talking about today. Like if you have some of this stuff, like his cars, like what would it be worth? I mean,
yeah, I mean,
and she had all the proof. She had the DMV records, the VIN number. She had everything.
You gotta get authenticated,
right?
Identify, whatever.
Man, I wonder how much they could get for or the cars, even if they're still around.
Yeah, here we go.
Seville, white, baby blue interior, baby blue top.
Trans Am.
She was just blown away by it, you know. That was her car, not mine, her car.
First,
you know,
Trans
naming
Am
all American cars.
Had the big Firebird on it. It was white with this big, beautiful blue Firebird. And I'd had it like a day, and I go out in front of the house in Beverly Hills, and Lisa is about 6 years old, and she's peeling off the bird on my Trans Am. That's the first time I ever got mad at her.
I bet
when
you
we
did.
were in Vail, we befriended Captain Kennedy,
She thought it was a
Ron
sticker.
Petrofesso, and a few people who worked for the Denver Police Department.
They were just very super nice guys. We met them on the security deal when we played Denver, when we did the show there. So we got to be good friends with them. And whenever we were up there, like in Vail or something, they were around.
Bodyguard?
I was the commander of a number of bureaus throughout my career. I was also off-duty work coordinator for the city facilities, so I had all the police at the concerts, the ball games, and everything else. So I brought my little entourage of policemen, half a dozen of us, to provide security on the floor to guard, you know, Elvis's quarters there.
We were at the Radisson Hotel in Denver, which was the home of the Playboy Club at that time. And we had either the 10th or 11th floor, and it was completely sealed off.
Of course, Elvis came strolling out and shooting the breeze. I mean, he loved to tell jokes. He loved to hear jokes. He loved policemen. He liked camaraderie, and as well as he liked the girls, you know. So we had a good time. We became friends. He came back for personal rides in the police car.
Wow.
You know, the years went by. We went out to Las Vegas to his shows, took the wives out there to Lake Tahoe. You know, it was fun. I mean, I was talking on the phone with my wife, and Elvis got on the phone and said hello to Joan, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to buy you a car like mine. I'm going to buy you a Lincoln." I said, "Oh, no, you're not." He said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "I appreciate everything that you've done and all your guys have done to make this visit such a pleasant thing." He says,
he literally was buying cars for just people who were nice to him.
Yeah.
If you were just nice to him, whether you knew him or not, and he calls his wife on the phone, "Oh, I got Elvis here." You know, she was just like, "Yeah, right. And I'm going to buy you a car." Incredible.
Yeah. All American cars. Remember that yellow car, that Pantera?
Yeah.
They did say that was like a
Pontiac or something.
American
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Yeah, that's an American car.
Yeah,
They
but
stopped
it's
making
like
them,
American type of Ferrari though.
Yeah. It's he only bought American cars. Well, he did have.
He bought a Mercedes.
He had a Rolls Royce too.
Yeah, he bought a Benz for the security detail.
It looks like everything he's buying for everyone else is the American-made cars.
Security guard got a Benz.
Man, his wife got a car and he didn't even know her. That's crazy.
Keep the wife happy, man. He had about 10 of them. She had to get one, right?
I'm talking about Elvis gave his wife the Denver police.
Oh, I thought it was the other guy.
No, he said he said the wife gave me. Elvis was on the phone. He said, "I'm gonna give your wife a car."
Oh, I thought you was talking about the other guy.
No, I'm talking about this right here.
Okay.
Because I appreciate it. And he said, "I'm going to done and all your guys have done to make this visit such a pleasant thing."
Just for being nice.
It. And he said, "I'm going to buy you a Lincoln."
And it wasn't maybe an hour or so later, he called me up to his room in the house that he was renting in Vail, and we were sitting there talking. And he popped this question to me. He said, "You know, if you could buy any car in the world, what would you buy?" And I said, "You know, I don't know. I'd probably buy a Cadillac." And to me, in 1976, that was probably the best car that was on the road. And I mean, I said, "I'd probably buy a Cadillac." He said, "Really?" He said, "Any particular kind?" And I said, "Probably an Eldorado."
He picked that one, and he bought that one for him, and then we took a spin around the block in the Lincoln, and then we headed out for Jack Kent Cadillac for these other Cadillacs for Ron and Bob Cantwell and Joe Esposito's girlfriend and Red West's girlfriend and Colonel Parker.
He ended up buying, I believe that night, 6 or 7 Cadillacs. He bought Linda Thompson a new car that night. You know, and why he would buy one in Denver, Colorado, it was the thrill and the excitement of everybody being there. I mean, he could have bought it in California, he could have bought it in Memphis, but he wanted to buy it that night. I mean, he went crazy with buying cars that night. And obviously the Cadillac
nice cars,
dealership loved
man.
it. There was something that, you know, things just like that,
That was the
you
cream
hear
of the
about,
crop.
you read about, and it doesn't happen to you. I mean, you know, for a working policeman that, you know, I mean, it was overwhelming, to say the least. I mean, you know, somebody's going to buy you a Cadillac that probably at that point in my life was half my salary for the year.
I mean, it was about, I don't know, 150 grand or whatever it was. It was big time money. You know, after he bought all those cars, I mean, he told me, he says, "You know, Captain," he says, "when my dad gets all those canceled checks, he's going to shit his pants."
Look at that house. You see that? Go back. I think it was a house behind them. That one. Oh. You saw that? I remember those.
This car came into my world in the strangest of circumstances. We were doing a broadcast, a morning broadcast on a Denver television station, followed the Today Show on NBC.
And we were sitting there in Vail watching the TV in the morning, and they were obviously doing a newscast about all these cars that had been purchased the day before.
And my co-anchor at the end of the broadcast, in a little goodbye that we would do each day, she said, "I'm going to go up to Aspen this weekend, and I hope that Elvis bumps into me." Now, there was an implication to that. First, Elvis was over in Vail, Colorado. Not to matter. But the innuendo of what she said was just shattering. And I turned and looked at her, and I said, "What an inappropriate thing to say."
Elvis started laughing. He said, "Ron, do you know that guy?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know, I know who he is." He said, "Call him on the phone."
Picked up the phone, and guy says, "What kind of car do you want?" And I said, "Pardon me, who is this?" And he said, "This is Elvis." And of course, immediately I thought it was a practical joke, particularly from some friends at other television station in town.
Elvis handed me the phone. He said, "This guy doesn't believe it's me." So I got him back on the phone. I said, "Hey, Don, trust me, this is the real guy."
And he says, "Don, this is Petrofesso. He wants to give you a car, damn it."
He goes, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "He was watching this morning."
The news reporter?
Happened to be watching the TV when you came on, and
Hold on, man.
had to make a phone call for you.
And then a little bit later, another voice appeared in another call, and he said he was something at a Cadillac dealership, and which car did I want? And I said, "Well, what kind of car are we talking about?" And he says, "Cadillac." He says, "The rule is you have to take one off the showroom floor. We have 7 of them available. We have a blue one with a dark blue top, and we have a white one, and we have a pink one. What do you want?" I said, "I'll take the blue one." Hung up. That afternoon, I went out, and this car was waiting for me, and I drove away. And I have to confess, my life was changed.
That's one of the best stories of this documentary.
I like that one.
He gets so everyone else knew him.
He
did something nice for him.
He was just on the
working. He just reported the news from the day before him buying, and gets a new car.
He said he walked out of work and the car was waiting for him and rode home in the new Caddy, man.
And left.
Imagine leaving work.
Whatever piece of junk he was riding in on his way to that job, he left it there. Man, this is you know what? He's richer than, but even still to buy that. I know the money was different back then, but they told us about how much the cars cost as opposed to what you're making. Right. But he had to be like the equivalent of today of like 200, 300 million, like 400 million, because you just can't buy this many cars. Yeah. Like, you know, that money is equivalent to the cars of today. So, but he's buying 20.
This is for a lot of people though. 200.
Cadillacs. So he bought a total of 200 Cadillacs. So that's like buying today. That's like the equivalent of buying 200 Mercedes-Benz 600s.
Ooh, man. Well, that's what, like.
Which is a $100,000 car.
So what's that like?
You buy 200 of them, 200 times 100,000. What's that? 2 million?
Something like that, yeah.
No. That's 200. That's like
20 million.
That's 20 million. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you got to be like like he had a lot of money, man. Yeah, big heart, but a lot of money to back that. Yeah.
It rolled on from there. There were some very difficult days. Actually, the next year was rather difficult with regard to the car. One, a journalist should not accept a gift. Two, I was totally eclipsed as a newsman by the fellow who got the Cadillac from Elvis. And it became an emotional burden.
Just to show you how much people
Did he
would
quit his
attract
job?
to anything
Rewind
Elvis
that?
touched
Hold on,
or
what
was
did you say?
around. I mean, here
He couldn't accept the
Newsman.
car, but what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
by the fellow who got the Cadillac from Elvis. And it became an emotional burden.
just to show you how much people would attract to anything Elvis
I didn't get
touched
that
or was
part.
around. I mean, here was a car that belonged to me. He paid for it, but it was
Let's
my
go
car.
all the way back so you can
One,
see
a
it.
journalist should not accept a gift. Two, I was totally eclipsed as a newsman by the fellow who got the Cadillac from Elvis. And it became an emotional burden.
Just to show you how
Someone took
much
his job.
people would attract to anything Elvis touched
got a
or
Cadillac
was
too.
around. I mean, here was a car that belonged to me. He paid for it, but it was my car. It wasn't his car, it was mine. People want me to sign their baby's leg, their wife's back with marking pens. You know, I was asking these people, why do you want this? Is, and their answer was, this is the closest that we could
Oh
ever
my
get
gosh.
to anybody that was that close to Elvis.
6 degrees of
It was an
separation.
exciting time,
7
and you know, I
degrees.
think I had a
I've never
pretty
heard that
exciting
before.
career as a policeman. I made
Someone signed an
thousands
autograph
of
because they
arrests
knew
and
someone
drug
else.
busts myself.
That's big time, man.
I've never heard of anyone signing an autograph because I was close to Michael Jackson.
That's huge.
I've never heard nothing like it. That shows you how epic and big he was as an artist at that time.
Exciting time, and you know, I think I had a pretty exciting career as a policeman. I made, you know, thousands of arrests and drug busts myself, but nobody remembers me for that. Oh, you're the guy that Elvis gave a car to, and so
Hey, man.
that's been the story of my life.
Claim
since,
to fame.
You know,
Take it and run.
1976, and it still, you know, goes to this day.
He's on the documentary.
Running with the king at the height of his reign.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
White one.
Yeah.
Like flying in the eye of a hurricane. Running with the king at the height of his reign. It's like trying to hold on to a runaway train.
His plane is called Lisa Marie's, named after his daughter.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Elvis had 2 pairs of glasses that he gave my husband. And one time when my husband was leaving his house, Elvis said, "Ed, you forgot your glasses." And my husband said, "Those aren't my glasses, they're yours." He said, "They have your initials."
Like my TCB, that's there forever. Taking care of business, lightning fast. It was the first one, because I happened to be with him when we picked him up down there at the jewelry store in Beverly Hills. And he put it on my neck there in the shop, in their store. And he put one on himself.
He don't take
He
that
had something like a dozen, I think it was, that were made up. He was really thinking about just us guys that were with him at the time and our wives. And then he would give them away to celebrities. They would remark about it. And he tried to take mine one time, and I wouldn't let him have it. He wanted to give it to some celebrity. I don't know who it was. And I said, no. And he said, what do you
That's
mean, no? I'll
mine,
get
brother.
you another one. And I said, no, you can't get me another one, Elvis. This is very special to me. It's the first one and that you gave out, and I want to keep it. I'm going to keep it. He said, they're all alike. I said, no, they're not. And I said, now, if you want me to not wear this so that you don't ask me for it, I won't wear it, Elvis. He said, no, go ahead and wear it. And later on, I went to him. I said, Elvis, I hope you're not angry about that, Matt. And he said, no, hell no. He said, I know what you mean. And he said, I appreciate that. I know. And that was it. He never asked me for it again.
He actually stood his ground and had to go back.
Giving that up,
But
Al.
he had to go back and
said,
ask, "Are you mad about this?"
Yeah, he said, that's
boss.
a good one.
That's boss
There's some
stuff.
good stories on this one.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, yeah. That's some boss status stuff.
He
That's
said,
like,
now, if you don't want me to wear it, I won't wear it. But you ain't getting this chain, Elvis.
but then, are you okay with that?
He wanted to make sure.
Are
everything
you
was
okay with me
smooth,
standing
man.
up for myself? Like,
And Elvis was cool
there's
with it.
another side to him, huh? Like,
yeah.
I'm not, man.
The first gift Elvis ever gave me was a beautiful diamond cross, and it's in an old fashion-looking mounting. It's very beautiful, and I wear it occasionally. The second gift he ever gave me was the car. And then the third gift he gave me was my TLC chain. And of course, I wear this all the time. And it has both of our names on the back of it and the day he gave it to me. And then for Christmas that year, he gave me a 21-carat aquamarine ring. He gave me a mink coat, and it's silver gray, and he said, "This is to match your hair."
He was always giving gifts, always. And so he brought the mink coat to my house, and I was very...
I just, watching this, I wish I could just give gifts like that.
I wish I would do the same thing.
Yeah, no, I wish I could
give it out. Chains here, cars here.
Hers said TLC. Theirs said something else.
TCB.
Yeah, TCB.
Taking care of business.
Hers said TLC, 10 or 11 care,
right? That's dope.
And they still got those. They kept them forever.
Wouldn't
which I completely understand why they didn't give them up. Like, I'm wearing this. I'm not taking it off.
You have to fight me for it.
They're getting buried in that.
You have to kill me for that chain.
But I wish I could do that.
Me
Like,
too.
I know that feeling was just overwhelming, just to be able to give and see people to give them things that they couldn't afford on their own, never would have probably had. And
I mean, it feels great.
I'd have never sold the cars, though. I know a couple people got rid of the car. I would still have that Cadillac to this day.
Never know what people going through, but
man, that'll be the car. If I'm broke, that's gonna be the card on the side of the house that's broke down with tires flat. I'm gonna restore it one day, but
yeah,
you gotta keep that.
Good one, man. I like that one more than the first one that we watched.
Yeah, no, it's
getting
deeper and stories coming together. Yes,
deeper and deeper. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and we up out of here.